Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Chapter 13 already. I cannot believe it's 13 weeks since we started the Chronicles, yeah? So anyway, we're just heading over to J.A. Jackson's, a quarry up in Fulwood. They've just had a J50 delivered. That's a McCluskey crusher. And Dave Scott, who runs the site, has asked me to pop in, give the machine a quick inspection and basically show him what to look for things like that could possibly go wrong, or just keep an eye on when the crusher's running. So Callum's in the area as well, so I'm getting him to meet me on site, and we'll go and have a little inspection of this new crusher, because it is a J50. We've not got a J50, so the crusher's new to me. It'll be pretty much the same as a J45, just a little bit bigger. So we'll be there in a minute. Right, we've just arrived at Jackson's. I'll go and sign in. Whilst we've got the drone up and it's a nice day, go and give them a little tour of the quarry director. So here we got the J50. I'll get Dave to shut it down now. This is our Cal. So really we're just here to have a visual walk around this J50 and go through with Dave anything that he needs to look for problems really. So how are you finding it so far, Dave?
Yeah, it's good. We're pleased with it. It's been a definite upgrade from the J45s that we've been hiring in. We've upped production.
How long have you had it now?
3 weeks, I think this is our 3rd week now.
So what are you crushing there, about 80
hours. We're crushing down to 80 mil, yeah. We made that heap under the conveyor in 3 hours this morning.
So that pile there in 3 hours?
Yeah.
Right, so that's pretty impressive, really.
Yeah, it's decent. Sometimes when you look at it, the belt, it doesn't look like it's piling off just as quick. You know, it's a big upgrade from the J45, but you've got the 1200 mil belt, so you've got to spread the products a bit more.
Yeah, so we've got a bigger jaw box.
Yeah, it's about 170 bigger, I think, off the top of my head.
It's got a separate pre-screen.
Yep.
Have you got plates in that?
We've got a plate under that blanking off. We don't really use the side conveyor, we just run it, just keep any debris, keep it free.
Yeah.
We may do when we go into sandstone up at LL, but...
So what materials being fed to you?
So we're pre-screening a mixed hardcore heap with the 1400 Warrior up there. 40 mil downs going to the wash plant. Anything 40 mil and above that's gone off the 50 mil things or 40 mil mesh underneath comes to me. It's more on the other side, the larger hardcore. Some of that will get mixed in, but very gently.
Yeah.
We use the cleaner stuff to get the production through the machine. Yeah, the bigger, cleaner stuff. The reason we pre-screen as well is to get the best from the crusher. The cleaner the hardcore, the more throughput we get. So the money we spend over on the other side pre-screening, we gain back in the production.
And what goes through the wash plant?
The 80 mil down crush, or we will sell it as a 6F2. And we do actually screen that as well on the Sandvik QE341 screener that's over the other side. The recycled MOT is a 40 mil down out of that, or it'll just go straight into the wash plant and we'll get the 10s and 20s back out of it for the higher value product.
Well, this crusher is just a little bit bigger than a 45, like 5 ton, 6 ton bigger. Like I say, it has got a separate pre-screen on it, and they're running the pre-screen with a plate in it, so they don't need to use the side belt. Right, so what I'm going to do a walk round with Dave just for things to look for, but he pretty much knows what to look for because he's been in Quarry game a long time. And I'll give him a little few tips here and there. I'll just have to get this call. Alright guys, so we're just going to do a walk around on this J50 and talk about a few things that you need to look for. The first things are obviously oil and water every morning, yeah? Let's just take a walk up to the machine. And then on the side of the machine, you have your grease points. Yeah, so these are your grease points for your jaw. Now then that means every 8 hours. That's 5 pumps, 5 pumps, 5 pumps, 5 pumps, 2, every 8 hours, yeah? Now then, for your bearings on your belt, on your conveyors, which are actually here, I'd say once a week, but here it actually says every 40 hours, right? Same with this side belt, once a week. Conveyor bearings, once a week. Jaw bearings, every day, yeah? Now then, this J50, it's got jack leads on it. Right, one thing I do notice on sites when they go out on hire is they put the legs down and they don't put the pins in. So as you can see, the pins in the bottom of the jack leg there. Now, when these machines go out on hire without operators and they don't know what they're doing, this bolt here, and they don't put the pin in the leg, that bolt will snap and it'll break away here. I've repaired them many times. Right. The other thing to look for on this, it's got a separate pre-screen to the feeder. So that's your feeder and that's your pre-screen. So they're not actually running material through the pre-screen at the moment coming off the side belt. Right, so they've not got many issues there, but one thing they do need to look for is this rubber inside. So as you can see, that red rubber up there, that splits and lets material fall down onto the tank. So we need to keep an eye out for that rubber. Yeah, well, I'm glad to see Dave's got his pins in the legs there. So Dave is a very experienced guy in crushing and screening, yeah, so I don't really need to show him anything. The other thing to look for on these is them bolts, is when you're loading the machine, keep an eye on them nuts, should I say, not bolts, is to, if there's any movement in them nuts, that means the jaw's loose. But I'd say check them nuts once a week. Right, the other thing is, you've got toggle rams in here. Toggle rams keep pressure on the jaw, yeah? They keep the drawback. It's called a drawback. You've got a toggle plate in between. Them little rams there, Now then people, I say put grease onto the rods of them rams, right, and people will disagree with me on that, because obviously grease picks up material, picks up dust, yeah, but you need to be opening and closing them jaws once a day to stop them rams from seizing. These are your jaw rams that open and close your jaws. You don't need to put anything on them. The only thing I would do now and again is send oil down the wedges just to keep them lubricated on the actual wedges themselves. Now this machine is bigger than our 45s, so this is the biggest McCluskey crusher, jaw crusher that we've got, yeah. Now then, there is a procedure that you should use every time you work on one of these, and you've got a lock off switch round the other side. Right, so the lock off is round the other side for the control panel, which is here, and all you do is flick it round and put a padlock in that whenever you're working on the machine. Yeah, now in previous videos I haven't shown this, but obviously this is something that we do that we're just not shown on camera yet. So every time you're working on a crusher, bang, lock it off, padlock, done. Yeah. But Dave here does actually have a procedure, an app on his phone for people to.
Yeah,
you just tell us, Dave.
Yeah, it's just the daily inspections that we have to do under the Quarry's regs. So each operator has the fleet check driver app on the phone. And these are the 3 machines I've got today. So I've got excavator 1, the Volvo. This is crush number 4. So I'd start my inspection. It's a crusher. So we put the hours in. We're 4,000 odd on this one. We confirm we've got our isolation procedure posted, which you've just shown. And then the guards are on. E-stops are clean, free from damage. Steps are clear. All the obstacles, platforms are clear.
Right, so this is something you've put in place, is it?
Yeah, this is an app we've developed along with a company called Mintrain. Mike Phillips, Mark Cohen in particular, has been very helpful with us. And
we need to implement this into our fleet.
Every machine on our fleet has a registration number, and then the operator can put any defects, comments, take photos of it. They sign to confirm they've carried out the inspection, and that's emailed to myself, but it's also on an online portal where I can go and look at all my open defects, record them.
That's brilliant.
And then also record the date of completion, so they're signed off. But if the HSE come in and inspect me, I've got an audit trail of all my defects, problems, repairs.
See, the problem is with these crushers, we send them out on hire without an operator. This machine here now I know will get looked after because it's got Dave and his lads working on it. It won't leave this quarry, will it, this machine?
No, it'll only travel between our own sites. It won't be a hire machine.
It won't go out on hire.
If it did go out on hire, we would be looking at putting an operator with in charging extra, obviously. But we wouldn't let it go.
Well, you know, you see me repairing our crushers all the time, that's because they're going out without an operator, and the grease points like I just talked about, and the jacking legs, they don't do it, do they? They just don't do it.
No, we see them. We've had hire units.
Plant hire. That's plant hire for you. That's what happens in the plant game. You know, but if people don't want to pay for the op, they don't want to pay for the op. So there's 2 different types of grease you can use, on these crushers. So you've got your lithium EP2. Now then, that's the grease that you want to be putting into the conveyor bearings, and then the other one, what's it called now, Dave? Here it is.
It's the Monolith SH. SHC 460.
FHC 460 or 220, So that grease there is just for the jaw bearings. Now then, that is very expensive grease, granted, right? But them bearings are very expensive bearings, So you're looking at a couple of grand bearing to a 50 quid bearing on a conveyor. So which one are you going to use? So that's good to see you using that as well, Dave.
Well, I pro-advised it. Investment in the grease, as you say, is buttons compared to the damage.
So as you're just looking around the machine now, they have a little bit of a bigger pre-screen and feeder on them. So the side belt isn't getting used. That's your drive motor for your pre-screen. And just check your oil levels on your feeder. So this will be producing quite a lot of tonnage per day. I'll just climb up and show you inside the jaw box. Right, so we've got a much bigger feeder there at the back, and this is your pre-screen. So like I said, there's no mesh underneath that pre-screen. All it is a solid plate, so everything's running through the jaw. Now then, behind that jaw, in that spot there, there is another chute. So material will drop down there and go through a little chute and drop down behind the jaw. That's obviously only material that's smaller than the bars. Everything else runs through the jaw. It is a bigger jaw box than a 45. So I'd like to know the tonnage over a week compared to a 45 tonnage over a week, which we can soon find out on this quarry. That's your magic eye, jaw level sensor. So when the material gets so full in the jaw, that picks up how much material's in the jaw, and then it'll shut the feeder down. Yeah, so it shuts the feeder down till the jaw clears a little bit, and then it'll start the feeder back up. And there's one of our wagons just come in there, tipping. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how Dave's going to look after this machine. You know, the other thing to look for is these return rollers here. What happens sometimes, these get full of muck and it stops the return roller from turning, so you get a flat spot on the roller. Yeah, so just keep an eye on them rollers and make sure they're all turning. Otherwise you just get a flat spot and start wearing your belt away and your roller away. Right, so I'm happy with this. I'm happy with it. Dave's looking after it more than anything. So that'll do for today, Dave.
Sound.
How are you going? All right.
Oh, while you're here, there's just a belt to do with the
here we go.
cuts on it. Yeah, there's always something.
What is it? What is it?
It's a Sandvik QE341 scalping screener. There's a 2-inch cut on the side of the fines belt. If you just
where's that Quarry?
Just on your way back out, past the top of the wash plant. It's just on the right-hand side, screening this material I've been crushing.
Right, sound. Right, we'll go and crush. In fact, I'll let Cal do it.
Yeah.
We'll go and clip a belt. Cheers, Dave.
Sound. Cheers, Baz.
So I presume this is the screener that we're looking at. One of the side conveyors. There's a turn in it, so we'll go through the process of repairing, or shall we say clipping, the conveyor belt. How we're doing, son?
It's about it, Baz.
Alright, mate. So what we're looking at?
We've got a 341 screener here, getting all the fines out of the crush that Dave's doing. We've got a 40mm decking at bottom, getting up 40, all up, and then we've got a 110, might be 150 actually.
Looks a bit of an out girl, doesn't it?
Yeah.
341. So what? So we've got a bit of a tear in the conveyor.
Yeah, on the other side.
Other side. Let's have a look. Walk around this way, director. Carl, get your clips out and drill and stuff. Alright, so it's just about to go. Right, so we'll just put a clip in it that way and a clip in it that way, just to keep it, otherwise that's just going to go in no time. So these clips that we use, got like a little 8mm thread on them here. So I'm just looking for a top. So we want one there like that. We want one there like that. So just 4 rolls, and we'll just get hold of that belt. And this little thing here is what tightens the nuts up, as we'll show you in a sec. Right, so looking at that, really, I'd say 1, 2, 3 clips, yeah. So I do have like a little hole saw cutter in my van, but Carl uses a drill, so as we're using his tackle, we'll just use a drill. So we'll put one in here first, Carl. So if you come around on this side, give me that. Put one right at the back. So we're going to want one there, hole there. Right, I'm going to want one there. With the one that I've got, it actually punches through the rubber. Yeah, so you're not actually drilling a hole, it takes the rubber out with it. So now we'll just put a clip in that hole, and we'll pull that together before we drill the next ones. What's some nuts there, Cal? You see how they're actually open a bit there, so it'll be kind of pulling the belt together as you close them, yeah? Put that in. That in. Nuts on. Just gun that one up, Cal. I'll get you the proper attachment for that. If you're using a socket, I'll get you the proper thing, yeah? You don't need to do that. Just put it on there, go on. Straight onto that one. That's it. That's one's clipped. I'll drill 2 more holes. Right, that'll do for now, that'll do. Just cut them off now with a little grinder, and that'll do for this belt. We'll keep it going a bit longer. He's getting tired. You got a grinder out, Cal? Yep. Right, that's it, job done. Matt?
Okay, boss, thank you very much.
You're going to fire it up?
Yeah.
Sound.
Good job. Thank you very much. Cheers, Bob.
Ratchet shop. Right, so we're just heading back to the yard now, and that might be the last you see of Callum for a little bit, because his missus is about to drop. She's having a baby, and he seems to think that he's going to have 4 weeks off paternity, like, but there ain't no chance he's having 4 weeks off. He'll have 4 days and that's it, you know what I'm saying? Down, I'll get you back for that, down. Right guys, so but now I'm back at the yard, yeah. On our hook lift wagons, you've got like a pivot point assembly where the sheet arm goes over the skip, yeah. So and you have a little ram, and on this drawing here it shows the little ram. Right, so that little ram there, in the eye of that ram is a little spherical bearing, right? But because the ram is that worn, it's made it like an egg shape. So, and I'm not going to buy a ram just because of this bearing, yeah. So what I need is, say this is the end of the ram. Now I'm going to come out, got a bracket, a little plate like that with that bearing that sits there, yeah. And within that bearing will be sat in like a, if we're looking at it end on now, so yeah, that's end on, and the bearing sat there. So it'll have to have that like a, it'll have to be machined out so the bearing sits up against it there, and then it'll have to have a circlip in this side to hold that bearing in. Yeah, so what we'll do, we'll have to nip over to my little Indian fathers, Arvin's, and get him to make me some of these. So what I can do is cut that off the ram and weld a new one on the ram. And at this moment in time, I've got 6 of them that I need. So I ain't buying 6 rams. Yeah, but we can just make some little, get some little plates machined up. So we'll nip over to Arvin's, eh? Oh, as I'm just fueling up, look at that wagon that's just turned up, director. I'm sure some people will know where that's going. I'm pretty sure that's truck number 4 of 5 that he's ordered, yeah, so that will be delivered down next week sometime. Right, so this is my little Indian farmer, as I say, as I always say, AJS. Right, so here we've got a little spherical bearing, yeah?
Correct.
So I want it in a plate, so like that shape, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's 35mm, I think, around 35mm, yeah.
That's what I've measured.
So I want it to go in and sit against the back.
Counterbore.
So counterbore it, yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to circle up in the opposite side.
Yeah.
Right. So what's that, about 12mm?
12mm plus 3mm, 15.
Yeah.
Probably looking 20mm.
Yeah. So do that out of 20mm plate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 35. I want 10mm either side. So 55.
Yeah.
Yeah. 55. 20.
Yeah. What length?
Length. We can do that. Say.
What centre do you want from?
I'm just looking at now that. So 35. Do it at 40mm centre. So from there, 40.
Okay.
Yeah. I want 10 of them.
40, 55. Yeah. What I might get is 60.
Yeah, that'll be alright.
Bit wider.
Yeah.
Flat plate.
Yep.
Chop it, do 'em, give you a radius. It will be a better job.
Yeah.
Now, do you want a grease nipple in
Yeah, I
there?
want a grease nipple there, yeah.
For the bearing.
You see that there? Right, so a grease nipple in the top. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want 10 of them. Because I've got 6. We have 16 hook wagons out on the road at the moment, yeah?
Is it for curtain roll-on sort of arm?
Send the arms over, yeah. That little ram. Alright. So, how quick can you do them for me?
I'll see what I've got material-wise. I've got to order some other material for.
What we're saying tomorrow?
I'll have to see what I've got in material. Am I supplying bearings?
By end of the week, yeah?
Am I supplying bearings or
Yeah, you get me, yeah. Put them all with bearings in, yeah.
Bearings with circlips, yeah?
Have a guess how much that was? That come from main dealer. Have a guess how much?
Senna?
20 quid.
What? Jesus, right.
You should be able to get them for like a £5 or something. Do you know what I mean?
I'll get you
20
that.
quid in charge, so I'm going to send that back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you do.
So get me 10 of them.
Yeah.
I'll leave that with you.
Yeah.
Right. And I'll leave you with this as well.
60 will do, won't it?
Yeah, 60 will be 20.
You got 22.5 wall thickness. That will give you grease nipple.
Just so it's sat in, locked in, yeah? And then I can cut it off the end of the ram, then weld it back on the ram.
Yeah, fine.
Alright.
No worries.
So, director, I've just had a call, and we were going to have to rejig things up at Bacup, so it's quite major. So we'll go up to Bacup and I'll explain when we get there.
Okay, right. Let me see what I can do. Right.
Alright.
Okay.
Well, I could do them back in the week. Alright.
Right, let me see what I can do.
Right, so within this workshop, yeah, there's a very, very rare breed. You'll never ever find him really living in his natural habitat. I just spotted him. Just spotted him. It's there. It's there. It's there. You see it? It's there. Oh. Right, let's go. Alright, so we just arrived at Bacup and I'm just looking at this setup now because we're going to change it up a little bit. So we don't need the 10mm material that's coming off the 2200, yeah? So if we don't need the 10mm, that means we don't need one of the conveyors. So what I'm thinking is also we've got a big hire that's come in for that. So that PT 750 there, right, that's like a little robo track. That's a live head. That's got 80mm meshes in that to get our 3-inch off. Yeah, so yeah, we're oversized off, and the 3-inch drops through, and the 3-inch drops onto this live head here and drops off down here. So we've got a J45 crusher up there, and we've got the side belt running to pull the fines out, yeah, just to try and clean the material up as it runs through the screeners. So my plan is I'm going to have to change all the meshes within that 2200. And then if anybody knows about crushing and screening, you'll know what I'm going to say in a minute. So for starters, I'm going to block the pre-screen up on that so we don't need to run the side belt, yeah. We're going to get rid of the 750. That can go on an hire somewhere else on another job. We'll put 80mm meshes into the live head on the 2200, yeah. So then we're going to get our oversized coming off, and we're going to get our 3-inch going through the live head, up the screener, dropping down and coming off the side belt, yeah. So they will also have to drop we'll have to change all the meshes in the screener, in the screen boxes, yeah. So we'll put a 45mm mesh in the top deck. We'll put a 25mm mesh in the middle deck, and we'll put a 14mm mesh in the bottom deck with a declogging system on it. Right, so that then will give us 3-inch, 40mm, 20mm and dust coming off the end. Now then, within the dust pile here will be a lot of 10mm. So what we'll probably do, we'll probably stockpile that and run it through a trommel at a later date. You know, so there's probably going to be a full day changing all the meshes in this 2200. We'll get that away. We'll get that off iron today and get that away. Get all these machines down and rejig. But before we do anything, I need to check what meshes we've actually got in stock on site here, because I'm going to have to order a load of new meshes. It might take a week for the meshes to come, so but we'll just go and check up at the cabins now, see what we got in stock, because I did run this 2200 a year or so back at this particular setup, and when we had a trommel on site, we put all the fines material through the trommel to pull the 10mm out. But because it's coming winter now and the material's obviously going to be a lot wetter, if you use the pre-screen on the crusher, it blocks. So what I do, I weld plates over the bars and block the pre-screen, so I'll send all the material through the jaw. And that's why we've got to put a declogging system in the 2200 on the bottom deck to stop it from blocking up, as I'll show you over time on the Chronicles. Let's go and see what meshes we got, director. So it's all about planning forward in this job, you know. We know winter's coming, so we've got to make plans. It's only around the corner. And the 10mm that we pull out of here, it's hard work to get 10mm out of a 2200. Really, you need to get clean 10mm, yeah, you need to be putting it through a trommel. So we'll not get clean 10mm out of that whilst it's winter time. So we've got good 10mm coming in on the trains at night, so there's no point running another machine up here when it can go out on hire and pull more money in for the company when we can get 10mm coming in on the trains. So it makes sense to pull it off here and to rejig the 2200 to get the products that we actually need. Alright, so this is our Craig. Hello. Craigie boy. Right, so these meshes here are 80mm meshes that will go straight into the live head of the 2200, yeah? So that's the live head sorted. Let's work our way down. them 45s there, they're for the live head on the 750. I can tell just by the size of them. These here, these are 5x5s, right? These are 14mm meshes, so these will go in the top, these will go in the bottom deck of the 2200. Yeah? They're for the setup we've got now then, so they're no good. Right. Impact plate. That's for the top deck of the 2200. So as it comes up the main conveyor, yeah, on the 2200, it lands on that. Right, so there'll be another 2 meshes that go behind that, then another 3 in front of that. So let's have a look. Right, yeah, so we've got the 2 for the top, another 2 for the top deck here that'll go in front of the impact one. That'll go on the next box, and then another 2 of them on the next box. So that's the top deck sorted, yeah? So now we need some 14mm meshes here. Bang, bang. We need 4 of them. 1, 2, and there's 2 round there. Right? So now we need 25s here. Right. 1, 2, 3. We've got everything.
We've got everything?
Yeah.
That's handy, isn't it?
We've got everything. So these have already been in the machine at some point.
Yeah.
Right, so well, that's sweet. We don't need to order any meshes.
Happy days.
Don't need to order any meshes.
It's all going to be in alright condition, isn't it?
Well, they've been used, haven't they? But just scrape them all off. You know what I mean?
Are they the same as them other ones round there?
Well, these here. Oh, I'll tell you what they're for. They go under the pre-screen on the 45 then.
Yeah.
So we don't need them either. Alright. What we could do is put some steel plates in them. You can buy meshes just as a steel plate.
Yeah.
Right, but we'll put plates on top of the pre-screen anyway.
Right.
Alright, they're put live head on 2200. So that's spare.
So that's spare. Happy days.
So we've got everything.
That worked out
So
well,
we can attack that whenever we want. Yeah?
It's getting cold up here now.
These all scrap.
Scrap, yeah.
Where's that rock bucket off that 50 tonner?
Gone back with it.
Are you sure?
That's the one we've kept up here.
Yeah, that's the one I'm on about actually. But no, it's not. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
I've been told that's got to stay up here.
Well, you can keep it up here, yeah, that's alright. I just need to know where it is. Because these,
I can't even remember the last time we...
believe it or not, these things go missing. That's a 10 grand bucket, that.
Yeah.
Right, sound Craig, so we'll just make a date when to do it, yeah? I'll come back to you.
Happy days.
Right, director, back to the shop.
Come on, let's go.
Hear it, boy. We can't be letting this muck set in the wheels, yeah? Knocks your wheels off balance. Not only that, we don't want muck on road. Do we a better power wash though? So I'm not keen on coming up in Quarry with my new van in winter, but it's a work van at the end of the day, so it has to. That muck, it's like a very abrasive muck, and when it gets into your brakes, which it does on all vans because they're low, aren't they? They're low to the ground, really, and whereas your brake pads and disc down in no time. No time at all. Back to your head. Right, so we're back at yard, and there's been a bit of an accident. Right, looks of it. This is our crushing shed building, where we do a lot of crushing. Well, all the crushing really, within the yard. And the reason why we do crushing in the building is to keep the noise down for our surrounding neighbours and to keep the dust down. But as you can see, both doorways, they've both been hit. Now then, these have both happened in the past couple of weeks, yeah? So this falls onto my toes. So that is going to be a problem. And that's going to be a problem. This one not as big as a problem. And what's happened here is, grab wagons come in, tipped, they put the grab in the air, and they've drove out, and the grab has hit the purling and the door. Whereas this one, they've backed in, tipped, drove out with the body up, yeah? Both, none of our drivers, so this is something that will be getting billed to somebody. But this one is particularly very bad. Now look at that stanchion there. Director, look at that stanchion there. Look at the bend in that stanchion. Right, so that is quite a big operation, that. Right, now then, for those that don't know, I used to be big into structural steelwork, yeah? Structural steelwork is my background. I am an expert at structural steelwork. Right, so that stanchion there now needs to come out. And if you look at the roof rafters, it is quite a big building, it's quite a big span. Yeah, so one way of doing this is to cut this stanchion at the bottom. So we'll cut the stanchion. I can weld an end plate to the little stub that's sticking out the ground, yeah, and then I can get another beam this size, right, weld an end plate to the beam, take it off at the haunch and replace this full section, right. But before you can do that, I'd have to prop these rafters, yeah, and I'd have to tie it back with a right wire rope, because as soon as you pull that stanchion out, that's going to want to belly down, right? It won't be a lot, but it'll be enough. So we'll have to wire rope that back when we take that out. We'll have to take that out, we'll have to take all the purlins out, all the cladding off, and resheet it. Quite a big job, actually. So you can see all the damage to the cladding at the top. So what I'll probably do whilst we're replacing that cladding there, we'll do that door and we'll do all the way along here. As you can see, over the years it's been damaged, so we might as well do the whole lot. But this will be on a future Chronicle, because there's a bit involved here now. I'll have to do a lot of pricing and a lot of measuring. Right, so I reckon I need one of them laser measurers to do this. So I want the height and I want the length pretty much exact. So I think we'll have a little trip down to Tool Station. Now Tool Station are a supplier that supply most tools, so hopefully they'll have one in stock. So there is a lot going on here. I'll have to plan when I can actually program this in to be done, because it's going to take a bit of time. And not only that, the problem we're doing this job is, yeah, I'm going to have to close this door, which is a problem, because we're in and out all the time. So it'll probably be a weekend job. Right. So whilst we're in the building now, this is a typical operation that happens. So the grab's tipped off. See how high the grab is there? Now then, if that grab was at full extent, that would hit the door. Yeah? But as you see, the grab's leaning a little bit over still. But when you get an 8-wheeler with a bigger crane on it, that is what is actually hit the door. So as what Mark's doing now, one of our drivers, is lowering the grab back into the body, and away he goes. Which is pretty straightforward and not hard to do. But some people forget to put the grab down, obviously. And the body down on this one. And for those that might be thinking that that beam would ping back, absolutely no chance. Right, director, whilst you're here and you've got the drone with you, get the drone up and let me have a look what's actually up there, yeah? Get some close-ups of it with the drone. So here we got a load of topsoil coming in. We have a few thousand tonne coming in, so we're just stockpiling it. We'll seal it and then we'll screen it at a later date. So that'll make good topsoil that once it's screened. Either put it through a trommel or a little warrior. Some piano meshes in it. Let's get some good topsoil out of it. Here's Tom just loading the Arctic as it goes back out. So load in, load out. Topsoil in, muck away. So as you can see, as we're walking back over to the workshop, trucks are getting weighed off as they go out. We have only got one weigh bridge at the moment. Big thing's going to happen in the yard soon. But it will come out on future Chronicles, yeah? Right, so back in the shop, there's my Kempy XP5 Fast MIG. I'm telling you now, if you're looking for a new set, get one of them on demo. Brilliant, I'm telling you now. Anyway, this steel that's in the shop at the moment, we've got some 100B100B5 box here. We are building something for somebody on site that the customer doesn't want cameras on site. So this is the steel work. No problem with the steel work being on camera, but we can't show the site. So yeah, I think we'll end this one here, director. Have you got enough? Yeah? So please like and subscribe, check out my other episodes, and hit that share button, because apparently it does work. So cheers and thanks for watching. See you on the next one.